All right, today we're going to be making jammy Dodgers. What you're going to want is some sugar, some confectioner's sugar, some jam, vanilla extract, water, oil, flour, and a single egg, as well as 2 sticks of butter. You're going to toss that into a pan and then mix readily until it is a crumbly mixture of flour and butter. Those should be the main things you notice in the mixture. This is called jammy Dodgers. They're very easy to make. Some people think that they're based off of the hit comic book Beano, where one of the characters is named Dodger. Though it seems like a bit of a leap of faith to me, but I'm not exactly 100% sure on that. I'll have to look into that further. Just something to do later, I guess. Very interesting. But yes, you're going to stir readily, and then once it's gotten into that kind of clumped shape, it's going to be very, very nice to have. Now, these were common in, excuse me, these were common in British households where they'd be served to like children and other such people. Anyway, once it's hit that consistency, you're going to want to knead it until kind of like a ball shape, as you see here. The ball should be relatively solid. It shouldn't really come apart. Just keep kneading that until you got a nice big ball, big old ball of jammy Dodger. Batter? That's the word. Big old ball of jammy Dodger batter. It should look about that much. If it's a little thick, that's not to worry. The cookies are meant to be a little thick. Next, what you're going to want to do is refrigerate them. And then once you're done refrigerating them, as you see here, you're going to want to take some sort of like circle. Now, I don't have a cookie cutter. You're supposed to use a cookie cutter. I don't have one. I didn't feel like going out and buying a cookie cutter. But luckily, a cup of, like any sort of cup or circle-shaped object should do the job just fine. Anyway, cut out as many of these things as you want. And then remember to refrigerate first. Refrigeration is very important because it's got to get that solid consistency. You're going to flatten it out, refrigerate it, and then you're going to get a circular object like you see here, and then you're going to press down to cut it into shapes. Now, something you can do to prevent wasted batter is once you're done cutting all the things you see out of that current batter, you can roll it up again into that big ball, flatten it out, and then now you don't have to freeze it again because it's already been refrigerated. What you can do is just knead it out again, and then you can cut more circles that'll waste less batter. It's very convenient. Anyway, you're going to want to make sure that each of these circles is about like 1/8 of an inch thick. That's right. That's like the proper thickness that you want, thereabouts. It's very important to get the right thickness. If they're too thin, it's not going to go well. They're going to be really flat, and they're not going to be able to hold any jam. Next, you're going to cook your jammy Dodgers for about 15 to 20 minutes at 325 degrees. Then you're going to want to let that cook for about 15 to 20 minutes. As I said, it really depends on your oven. And then when they come out, they're going to look like that. And you're going to want to douse them in a little bit of confectioner's sugar. You're going to be laid out. They're going to be a little flat, but you're going to cover and you're going to split them in half, like get 2 different pans and cover them in a little confectioner's sugar. Then what you're going to want to do is take half of them and flip them over and put jelly on the underside. And then take the other halves and put jelly on the top side. Now, a fun fact about the jelly in the original Jammy Dodger is that the original jam used was neither raspberry or strawberry jam, but in fact a raspberry-flavored apple jelly. So really, it's not really raspberry at all, the original one. But despite all of that, the Jelly Dodger remains Britain's #1 jam biscuit. So above, or really fruit biscuit, above all others, which is really a mark of its quality. It really is quite good. If you ever have the time to make these, they're really simple to make, really easy. They taste delicious, and they've been around for a while for good reason. Very, very easy to make. The ingredients are mainly butter, eggs, and sugar, with a little flour mixed in. So it's a really good time. They taste delicious. Now, a little dry without the jam on them. So make sure to keep that jam. They're called Jammy Dodgers for a reason, you know. But just very, very good. It would be delectable with a little bit of milk too. So if you have some milk on hand, make sure to have that at the ready. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's very good. England's it's been around for around 60 years, and it's England's number one jam or jelly fruit biscuit. Very impressive. All right, final bit of trivia for you here. Another fun fact. Jammy Dodgers are actually considered Doctor Who's favorite biscuit. Now, I don't know if you know who Doctor Who is, but he's a pretty big cultural, like pop culture icon. In Britain, Doctor Who is a very famous British TV show in which Jammy Dodgers are actually his favorite biscuit. So not only are they Britain's favorite jam-flavored biscuit, they're his favorite as well. But yeah, I mean, Doctor Who also very popular in the U.S., though definitely less so than comparison to Britain. He's very, very huge over there, but also very much likes Jammy Dodgers, as it turns out, which is a little strange. I didn't think fictional characters could have a favorite biscuit, but I mean, makes sense considering biscuits and tea are such a huge thing over there. Now, I'm sure you're wondering where I got the recipe. It's from tasteofhome.com. The other sources for the other fun facts, if you feel like looking into a Jammy Dodger history a little bit further, a bit of a niche rabbit hole, biscuit history, I got that from the Doctor Who fandom for the Doctor Who fact. Pretty fancy. I got the and the other two were the Fox Burton website. They're a biscuit company in the UK, Fox Burton. They have a page for their Jammy Dodgers. And the final HuffPost article about the history of the original Jam and Jammy Dodgers by a woman named Amy Glover. It's pretty interesting. I think you should check it out if you have some time. Overall, very delicious dish. I would absolutely make again. Mainly because it's so easy. I mean, the most you need is probably the 2 sticks of butter you need, which is like a lot of butter, but it's a very good turnout. It's delicious. I ended up with around 4 of the things, which is 8 halves. But if you feel like it, you could just do 2 halves of the cookie. Anyway, thank you for listening.